Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, November 13th, and it is good to see you after getting back to what Tennessee's been doing this year. We said it, and they did it. The Vols did it. Are we surprised?
Yeah, drink what's enough. Actually consist of. It makes me wonder to let Tennessee 24 yards. Hendon Hooker to have a Heisman. Did he solidify him as a Heisman front runner? Is that what? I don't know. There's just a lot to it. Man, what a day. Your day. It was bittersweet. 7-0. You get the top of this season. A lot of program got to walk and run to the sea for the final. I wasn't sad during that time. And Hooker was doing the band at the very. Man, this is.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, definitely. Fun day altogether, all on Rocky Top, and it just listen. Everybody can get upset about Tennessee going out and scoring, but fact of the matter is when you did it was your backup quarterback, and it was fun to see Joe Milton get to let loose one more time in Neyland this season. Not like we've seen him a ton this year. More meaningful snaps than he's had. The other ones have been Akron and Ball State and UT Martin. So to get to see him play an SEC opponent, I know they pretty much quit. Let's be honest, Missouri, you gave up. It was sad. It was a sad display of what you did.
100%. And we did get about Tennessee basketball. Okay. I'm not ruining this great weekend that we. So we'll get into the basketball just later on. It was not a great game. Yeah, it looks like we get that fixed.
Yeah, our audio is struggling. Yeah, and I don't know if it's one or both of us. I'm not sure. I know yours is. I'm having trouble picking you up. I don't know if it's for both of us or how it is. But yeah, I'm struggling to hear you. It's cutting in and out. I figured it was just my connection, how it normally is, but it sounds like we're getting some bad connections for Landon. So we'll get that worked on and try to get it through. But yeah, what a way to kind of cap off a Neyland season, undefeated season in Neyland, unbeaten, whatever you want to call it. Because obviously there is a loss, a blemish on the Tennessee's overall record, but to get that win over Florida early in the season, beat Bama for the first time in 15 years. The goalposts come down. If you were in Neyland, they shared that Tennessee has in fact gone through 4 goalposts this season. It was just awesome. I obviously I'm young. I haven't experienced a season that overall that Tennessee's having, and certainly nothing like that in Neyland Stadium. For a noon game, sure, there were some empty seats in there, but it had its moments where it felt like it was Neyland's best. And crappy weather, noon game. So to send those seniors out on a high note, guys, you saw it all over Twitter, and I think that's why yesterday was so special. I guess the right word. So many guys more guys could have left than did, but they chose to stick it out to a place they decided to play college football, a place that they had grown, become brothers with guys, and they stuck it out and grinded it out. And I know these seniors have garnered the respect. And so what a way to cap it off, stadium. It was one of those moments. It's like, yeah, this is why you cheer for Tennessee. It reminded you get to see Smokey 10 run through the end zone one last time. Listen, I'm an emotional man. I won't lie. I cried on that. I don't know if you've seen the TikTok video of Smokey's last day on Neyland. That last run through the end zone with everybody pouring out of the stadium got me a little emotional.
Yeah, man, it was like I said a second ago. I don't know if you heard me, but I said it was bittersweet. You did get to kind of cap it off with a win and set some school records in there as well. But it's also like, man, this is the final time we get to see some of these guys in person in Neyland Stadium. So very bittersweet, but a great day all in all. The weather sucked, but I thought the atmosphere was incredible. I saw the decibel meter get up to 113 at times, so it was pretty loud in Neyland Stadium, even though it was a noon kickoff, and the weather was cold and it was rainy that morning. So all in all, great day. Not a lot to complain about. I know we'll kind of nitpick it a little bit because you have to, but Tennessee, we got style points. We did what we needed to do. At times it would look like it was going to be ugly. In the third quarter, when they cut it to 4 points, it was like, oh my God, is this it? Our ball battered syndrome flared up a little bit, and you're like, what's going on here? But I think two things happened at that point. I think that huge play that they dialed up for Jalen Hyatt to be wide open. I don't know why. I don't know how you lose him, but teams just can't figure it out.
You got to find a way to account for him for sure. But he continues to get open even without. It just going back to Tennessee's one loss this year. It shows you that team just, when you got the Jimmies and Joes, it helps out a lot. It makes scheming a lot easier, because I'm not saying the other defenses Tennessee's played are as good as coaches as Kirby Smart or anything like that, but they have a good idea of what they want to do to try to and it just can't be done.
Yeah, absolutely. So that happened, and then Dylan Sampson happened. He's a guy that lit it up. I mean, he was phenomenal. He just gave the ground game just life and the offense life. Mm-hmm. Even though that play set it up, but he was a huge part in Tennessee just stepping on the throat of Missouri. Because I think one thing that they're kind of hanging their hat on is like, hey, they can't run the football. If we're able to get them in third and long, maybe we can force a bad throw, because at times, they were getting pressure on Hendon Hooker. He did get sacked, I think, 3 or 4 times. Not a great day from Jeremiah Crawford, but he was kind of that deciding factor. We're like, hey, it's over. One thing you can hang your hat on, stopping the run, that's done with. We got to – and he's got to get more touches. I know we're going to talk about guys who impressed, but man, he's so fast, and he doesn't hesitate, and he makes people miss. And that's not like Jabari Small, Jalen Wright, they haven't played bad, but at times there's just like, man, can we just break one tackle? Can we make one person miss? And it is a little frustrating to watch sometimes.
Yeah, and I told you, I think it was right after the game, I said maybe he hadn't been really hit hard yet mentality, where he feels more comfortable trying to make guys miss between the tackles, because you'll see it. Jabari Small and Jalen Wright have experienced it this so far into their career, that you're going to get hit hard one time, but you do have to just trust what you see sometimes and take those hits. And because sometimes you're going to break free like Dylan Sampson did yesterday. The only way to describe him is explosive. That's all. Every time he touched the ball, explosive play yesterday.
Kid can fly. Kid can absolutely fly. 128 points is how many points Tennessee has scored in the last 2 games against Missouri. I mean, you think Josh Heupel doesn't have a little bit of hatred toward that program for maybe not looking at him?
Maybe I kind of forgotten that he had been there, and it's even funny too when everyone got the score. And we're pointing to this is what he did when he was the offensive coordinator at Missouri. So why would we be shocked about it? That's a good point. I didn't consider that, but it's hilarious. There were people thinking we ran the score up on Kentucky. People that yesterday a huge lack of sportsmanship. It's funny. Who cares? I said it. I said it about baseball. They hated us when we weren't good. Why did anyone think they would hate us when we are good?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would be a little offending if they didn't hate us if we were winning. Right?
They always have. They always will. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. We love being the villains. The baseball team loves being the villains. Maybe the basketball team earned that a little bit last season. And if the football team's the same way, I'll take it. I love it.
Hirosh's always trying to be the villain.
That's true. 100%.
Always.
Man, 33 first downs. That's another kind of stat I wrote down. We had 33 first downs. They had 16. And we put up a school record on the number 13 ranked offense in the country.
Defense, yes.
That's
defense,
another
thing.
Yes.
And I think it more points to another team being in a different category. Tennessee's played a lot of defenses this year that have been – well, first off, you talked about it after the Alabama win. Wait till you play Pitt. Okay, wait till you play Florida. Okay, wait till you play Alabama. Wait till you play LSU. Wait till you play Alabama. Wait till you play Kentucky. Not that people were saying that about this Missouri ranked in the country is nothing to brush over. I mean, they have a good defense, and I think it's one of those things that's the reason the first half went the way it did. Not that Tennessee didn't score points; they just weren't able to score them at will like you would like to. And yeah, that defense isn't bad. It's not. Tennessee just exposed it for everything that Tennessee's offense is worth.
Yeah, it's kept them in football games, and I was kind of talking about it with my dad at halftime. It was just like, if Aaron Beasley doesn't line up over the center, and we don't give them a garbage touchdown where they just chuck it up on 4th down and our defenders just get lost, they have 6 points at the half. 6. And it's a totally different game from then on. And so it was just, they did. It kept them in the game. We helped them out. We had some drops. We left some points out there. Jalen Hyatt, uncharacteristic, had 2 drops in a row. That leads to points. So it was weird in the first half. It was just a little bit head scratching. But then, I think you see how dominant this team is when they're able to just flip a switch. And that's what they did in that third quarter. I think 38 unanswered points. I mean, I think the last 23 minutes, they were held scoreless. So what a job by that defense, just, feeding off that offense. And they're like, hey, y'all keep going scoring. They're not scoring again. They're not getting a garbage touchdown. I know that Brady Cook threw one in the breadbasket. It happens. It is what it is. But it didn't matter. I mean, it just felt like the game was never in doubt once Tennessee scored that. Even when they went up 24-21, it felt like we were up by like 2 scores at least.
Yeah,
it's just how the game was.
I mean, I never thought. Obviously, going into halftime, you're a little, hope we can turn it on kind of deal and break away. 28-20 or 28 or 21-17. What was it at halftime? Now I'm forgetting. 28-17.
It was yeah, that sounds right.
But it just never felt close. He got to 7 in the first quarter. I don't know. Tennessee just seemed like they were on the verge of scoring, and it was going to come eventually. It wasn't like Georgia stifled. Everything kind of felt like, just one drop catches that they were out there on the field. They were being left, not taken kind of deal. And I mean, too, you just got to think how long is Brady Cook going to keep this up of running for his life? Essentially, a lot of his plays was getting out of the pocket and then making one cut and getting upfield. And that obviously
he was a lot more athletic than I would have gave him credit for at the beginning of that game.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's another thing. Credit Tennessee's defense for being able to handle him in the second half. And really, I think what it boiled down to is your defensive line got pressure, and it's much harder to run when you're actually getting pressure. And so, yeah, I just never. I think it goes to show how, if you've watched this offense all year, how dangerous they really are. If you watch one game, yeah, you wouldn't say that, and if you watch one game, that's fair, or at least admit it. But you knew they were going to strike at some point, and then they just, like you said, 38 answered it fast.
Yeah, because I think this was the previous school record was that game against Troy in 2012 with Bray and Patterson and Justin Hunter. And, I mean, Tennessee put up that many yards against an SEC opponent, and an SEC opponent that was ranked 13th in total defense. So, I mean, it just shows you if they're able to run the ball like they did with Dylan Sampson in that third quarter, like there's
everything.
100%. Like, I just think that Georgia game is a lot different if you're able to run the football pretty consistently. Not saying that you have to run it like you did against Missouri, but if you have some sort of run game, it opens up so much for you.
Yeah, and I mean, you've heard Tennessee's coaches, Golish and Heupel, both say that a lot this year, that they've got to find a way to get that going, and they finally did, and everything was fine. So it just makes. Listen, I don't. Hendon Hooker has proven himself to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I think we've talked about this. I do think it's important that he's in the system he's in. There are a lot of other quarterbacks that I think play in other systems, but I think what Tennessee does, and vice versa, I think a quarterback like Hendon Hooker is what you need in this offense. So getting that run game early, taking some pressure off of him. I mean, you saw when Georgia was able to collapse the pocket because we couldn't run the ball, what that did to him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obviously crucial for this offense, but it's crucial to Hendon Hooker's success, but kind of how he sees the game too.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's made his mark in such a short amount of time, I feel like. Crazy. I mean, he was kind of, it was like that puzzle piece that you wouldn't expect it to go in that spot, and then then you put it there and you're like, oh, it does fit. I mean, that's just kind of how it was. He just kind of fell into place, and it's been the perfect storm.
Yeah, he's only been Tennessee's starter for like 14 months.
Yeah,
he didn't start last September.
And he was athletic. We knew that, but he's thrown the ball down the field well. He's trusted his guys. He makes plays with his legs, and he's handled himself on and off the field like a pro. Not too high, not too low. I mean, we talked about this, I think, on Sunday, but steady Eddie. That's who he is.
Yeah. Don't get into his age now, Landon. You're going to trigger a lot of people. Don't do that. Don't call him a pro yet. And a lot of people are going to be upset about that.
He's handled himself like a pro. Now, if we're talking about pros, I mean, Will Levis just lit up Vandy, man.
They threw that tape out. It's fine. Don't worry about it. They won't look at that tape.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Lit up Vandy so bad that, Joe Milton came in and had more total yards than.
Well, they combined. I think they combined for a touchdown and interception though. So that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for him. God. At home too. That's something you got to write that.
I hate Vanderbilt into oblivion. I hate them. I hope Tennessee hangs 80 on them. But man, couldn't happen to a better team in Kentucky. Couldn't happen to a better team.
Also, I was looking at kind of the box score and everything, and if you didn't even watch the game, you just looked at the box score. If you want to know how dominant Tennessee was on offense, just go look at the leading tacklers for Missouri. 4 out of the 5 are defensive backs.
It's not good. It's not good, guys. I don't know
No.
if you know, but if your defensive backs are making tackles, it's not good.
No, don't want that to happen for sure.
How many pass interference? Great. I guess a lot of them got called holding. That's a great strategy. I mean, you can't get open if you're. I would rather a 15 penalty, 5-yard penalty than a 30 bomb, or in Joe Milton's case, a 60-something yard bomb. 50 yards, I think is what it was. So yeah, I mean, great strategy from our good guy Eli Drinkowitz, good friend of the pod. Great strategy. Whatever he had written on that legal yellow pad from last year's game, I think he executed as best he could. I mean, that's
yeah. Poor guy. I mean, if he could just learn how to manage the clock, I mean, it would be a totally different ballgame.
That going into halftime,
it was amazing.
I really believe more of these coaches need to just play NCAA or Madden. Just get the flow of the clock when you're responding. I don't understand it. How do you not? Did you not know you had a timeout?
Do you not have somebody in your ear telling you that stuff? Surely,
then,
right?
Oregon mishandled the last drive, but even the last drive, what are you doing? Because if that does get called a completion, that's the game.
Yeah.
You can't throw about it. It couldn't be that long of a throw. You were getting 3-4 yards at the most, and your guy's running out of bounds with it. It was abysmal, man.
Poor guy. He just looked outmatched. I mean, he just wanted to yell at the officials the entire time, and maybe he just got too worked up. Maybe got too hot in the moment, and just couldn't manage the clock. Just lost track of time, I guess. I don't know.
Love to see Brady Cook just be like, "No, we're taking a timeout here." He's yelling, "Clocking." Why? Why are we clocking this? What are we doing? It was
and if we're talking about Brady Cook, he did a nice job with his legs. I thought that was something Tennessee had kind of figured out. But he did have some success on the ground. Every time they scored, they had a long run by Brady Cook.
He was their leading rusher by 60 yards, 70 yards.
Oh yeah. Wasn't even close. I don't know why he didn't try to run more.
I mean, I said it to you. I'm running some form of a QB draw until you stop it. Whether I'm telling Brady Cook to catch the ball, run out of the pocket, or whatever, I'm running some form of it until you put someone on him and you have to take away someone out of the secondary.
Well, I mean, he can't throw. I know he threw that one pass, but that was the blind squirrel finding the nut because he is horrible.
My favorite throw, I told you, was when he threw it as hard as he could. He did a nice
Isn't
job.
Sam Horn at Missouri? How is he not playing?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Is he hurt? I don't know. I mean, I don't follow
sure.
Missouri. I don't know anybody who does follow Missouri. So
this is the second Missouri game I've watched this season. So I'm not sure, but that when he did a nice job, bringing his arm around and side, to fit it in, and then throws it as hard as he can at a guy and gets onto him. And listen, I'm for the argument of to hit your hands, you got to catch it, but if you're a quarterback, you got to give your guy a chance.
Yeah.
You give me that. And then he's losing his mind on him for not catching. I'm thinking, you didn't take any. I mean, people think Joe Milton throws hard. Brady Cook 5 yards, tried to throw it as hard.
Yeah, and some on that one run right before the half specifically, I mean, Trayvon Flowers. My man.
I got a lot of questions.
Doing?
I have a lot of questions about everyone trying to tackle him.
I mean,
multiple times throughout the game.
I'll say this, nitpicking, our safeties just aren't doing it for me. They don't make enough plays, in my opinion, to, solidify themselves as a starter. It makes me wonder, how bad is the person behind him if he can't even sniff the field?
There's definitely a lot of questions. I thought they played better in the second half. I thought they played a lot better.
They did. Yeah, they did. 100%.
I thought the first half was And I told Landon I would claim my stupidity on this show, and I'll do it. Going into halftime, I told you it's not that I felt the game was ever in doubt, like we were losing. I never thought that, but I did think, I said it. I said I'm not been super impressed with the way Josh Heupel has handled the last 6 quarters. And it wasn't that I thought he was coaching a losing game. I just didn't think the last 6 quarters had been the best Tennessee football, and I think most people could agree. And then the final 2 quarters yesterday, I'm definitely made up for the first 2. That's for sure. Both
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's the incomplete on first down, and it's run right up the middle for no gain or 1 yard gain, and then you're 3rd and long. That's when Tennessee is at its worst. That's how we were the whole game against Georgia. Couldn't complete it, and then you put yourself in a hole, and you can't run the ball to get you any yards.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you got to still try it to keep them honest. I don't know. I don't know what the solution to that is, but if Tennessee can get the running game, I mean, there's not a defense that stops it.
Yeah, how do you? I mean, I would love to see Eli Drinkwood's notes if he does actually have something written down that's of any value to any coach. Obviously not of value to him, so maybe to another coach. I'd like to see it and read it.
Yeah, also, going back to Dylan Sampson a little bit, how does he not – I mean, was he that bad in pass protection where, like, you couldn't trot him out there against Georgia and see what happened? Especially when Jabari Small went down. You got to give Jalen Wright a little bit of a break.
I would agree with that for sure. I just think it's one of those things you have to learn. I do think for Dylan Sampson, this is getting significant playing time against Missouri. That's got to go a long way as far as that trust factor goes. That's got to help him and this coaching staff kind of get on this, build that trust. And I think you see more of him down the stretch. I know that doesn't game, but after that performance, Jabari Small and Jalen Wright barely. Either of them solidified themselves as far as them go 1 and 2, solidified themselves as a starter.
Jabari had a nice run, but that's what kind of his numbers were skewed because of that long run. I mean, it wasn't a great day at the office until that one play he had. No, he did have a fantastic one-handed catch.
Yeah, and then on that long run, he absolutely took a dude's ankles.
Oh yeah,
they might still be at the whatever yard line he.
Yeah, like that's why I don't get it. I don't get like through the line of scrimmage. It just seems so slow, so hesitant, or misses the hole, and then you see that where he's just able to make a DB just fall to his knees. I mean, it's there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if is it the offensive line? I just can't tell of what it actually is. But Dylan Sampson, whatever that was a perfect formula for me.
Yeah, and another thing that we won't run with any other back. I don't know why, and I don't want to see it all game. Don't get me wrong when I say this, but I just think the speed option that Tennessee has in their back pocket can be deadly, and we only run it with Dylan Sampson. So if that's who you're running with, well, let's see more of him in the game because. I mean, Hendon ripped off a nice run from it. Dylan Sampson took a no game, maybe lost for, I think, a 6-7 yard gain on one. And so I think that we saw it in Akron, and I thought that meant we'd see it against Florida. I think that's our first time seeing it since then.
Yeah, again, is it the trust factor? Do you not want to run it with Jabari Small because he is a more kind of between the tackles kind of back, and you don't run it with Jalen Wright because he does have the fumbles?
Yeah,
I don't know, but
which is
yeah,
fine. It's fine with me if you don't run with the other 2 guys, but I think it's something that helps Tennessee. That means put Dylan Sampson in.
Yep. No, I agree.
And I do want to go back to taking ankles because I think it needs to be stated that Hendon Hooker. We talk about him being a good dude and on and off the field. He abused a guy. He was gonna. Instead, he looked that guy in the eyes and said, I'm going to take your ankles at the goal line just for my highlight tape. And he did. And it was mean and cruel, and I loved it. And I want to see
more. Put him on skates.
I loved it. I was like, oh, this is a touchdown. And then that guy kind of comes into my peripheral, and Hendon must have seen him too and was like, you're my. If your
Yeah,
kids are listening,
that's
mute it.
one
He
thing.
said,
You can't stop your feet. If you stop your feet, I mean you're sitting dead in the water.
well, I just love that he even tried to make the tackle. He knew it was a touchdown. Hendon knew it was a touchdown. And then after he gets his ankle taken, he tries to make the play. You just got to let it go at that point. Just let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, this game was just I thought it was great just getting kind of back to what we do. That Georgia game, I feel like took a lot out of Tennessee. And I think in the first half, there was sort of that – it felt that sort of hangover-ish. Maybe the weather had something to do with that, but it did seem slow and just not explosive enough like Tennessee's accustomed to doing. So, it was – good to get back. I mean, I think Georgia did put some maybe tape out there like, hey, this is how you stop it. But I don't think anybody else in the country has the guys to be able to stop it. And Tennessee didn't play great on that day anyway.
No, I mean, like you say about how Tennessee responds, I was hoping Tennessee would get back to it. And that's what you wanted to find out is how does Tennessee respond to that adversity? Because we said it. I mean, Georgia beat you in every facet of the game. It was hard to find really a lot of positives in that. It's one of those you want to watch the tape one time and then never watch it again. You burn it. You don't need it. Move on from it. So to get back and put on that kind of showing, I think is really important to finish out this year. Style points. You need them. Kirk said it a billion times. You need style points. And I think Tennessee definitely went and got that and a little bit more. I'll say it. Tennessee added a little extra mustard on those style points. It's just what we do. So, yeah, I think it was good to not only get back to what you do, but also to I don't think it's that anyone thought the committee will value a win over Missouri. I think it's more so let's go win big just to prove we can still, even after that Georgia game. Because if you go – that's another thing people won't say because they want to just say, oh, it was unclassy, shouldn't have done it. If Tennessee wins this game by 11, by 10, or go look what Georgia did. What was it, 4?
Yeah.
If they win it by 4, no one's going, well, they won. No one's saying that. They're going, oh, look, they got beat by Georgia. Now they're exposed. Now everyone knows how to defend them. No.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. So Tennessee did need to win this game big. And sure, maybe the Joe Milton throw was a little – we didn't need it. I don't care. Let him throw it. He's a backup quarterback. He didn't get to play a lot. We didn't do it with Hendon Hooker. If you don't want it to happen, stop it.
Yeah, the one to score why. I mean, number one, let's just clap that up because that was a freaking bomb.
Yeah, standing ovation for Rocket Arm.
I mean, holy hell.
Rocket Arm.
Holy crap. I mean, it was in the air so far, and Caleb, me and you were talking about how to score wide, trip, because he was so close to the end zone. My thought was like, it was in the air so long, and he was running for so long. He was like, eventually, I'm just going to run into this wall.
Yeah, he was looking out for the band director. That's all.
Yeah. So, I don't have a problem. You're running your offense, and here's the thing. It was a backup quarterback. It was to a backup receiver. We did score a touchdown at the end of that with a third-string running back in Dylan Sampson, who was carving you up. If you don't like it, stop it.
Well, here's another thing.
You have the 13th ranked defense in the country, and you couldn't stop it. So that's on you. You need to write that in your notebook, Eli Drinkwitz. I don't think he said it did.
Yeah.
He said it didn't bother him. But, I know Bear from College Game Day said something. And, you can't have your counterpart, Kirk Herbstreit, go on the college football playoff selection show and say style points absolutely matter. And then say, oh, they won by too much. That's classless. I hope they look at it and ding Tennessee. Tennessee already gets dinged for having a close game for Florida, even though we were ahead the entire game. We took our foot off the gas. I don't think Josh Heupel is ever going to take his foot off the gas ever again because of that, what exactly happened at Florida. So
I hope not.
You can blame Anthony Richardson and us not recovering an onside kick for that.
Well, in the LSU 37-point win, 27-point win, whatever it was, it wasn't. It was maybe big enough, but it happened so long ago. Apparently, that doesn't matter. So you better win big now when you can. So, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. None of it matters. Here's the thing. Syracuse and I think Wagner, they played shortened quarters in the second half because it was so bad at halftime. If you don't want Tennessee to score that much, shorten the quarters in the second half. So they don't have the ability. Because if football, that's another thing coaches preach all the time. You go out there and play for 60 minutes, play for 60 minutes, play for 60 minutes. And then you go, well, take your foot off the gas if you're beating them too bad. That's the classy thing to do. Okay. And that's another thing. Missouri's talking class over here. One of our guys blocks your player into the sideline and gets up. 30 players. I'm sure that's not classless. That won't get counted.
Right.
I have no problem with it all. But if we're going to call, you can't pick and choose what's classless. You got to call them all. So if you're a Missouri fan and you had a problem, number one, take Eli Drinkwitz's notes that he wad them up, use those to wipe the tears, and shut up.
Yeah, also, Barry, you shut up. How about you just keep going on College Game Day, which you give nothing toward. I have no clue why you're on the show, and go a little bit below 500 in your lame ass picks. Okay, all you're doing is losing people money. No one likes you. I hate to kind of be the bearer of bad news, if you will. Everybody's on there literally just makes fun of you.
Also, it pisses me off that he admits to not watching the game. People that have no context and make these outlandish statements and opinions, shut up. Yeah.
Did you get treated poorly in Knoxville? Are you mad that the baseball team didn't have a half-naked picture of you out in the crowd? Is that what you're mad at? I mean, good Lord, man.
And I love that he's like, Tennessee fans are asking about USC. What do you think about USC? And he's like, I didn't like it. Fine. Are you happy? I was like, trust me, Bear. None of what you say changes my happiness level. You're fine. In fact,
and
I'm on Twitter to make fun of stupid takes for the most part. So please keep bringing them. Please. I enjoy it.
Tennessee doesn't have the luxury of playing. We've already played the meat of our schedule. We have 3 really bad opponents at the end, and we have to win those games by a lot. We have to be impressive to show the committee, like, hey, this team is actually, because we're probably not going to be, we're not going to be in the SEC championship, so we have to pad our stats, pad our resume. And this is the only way to do that. So I'm sorry if it hurt your feelings. I don't know who you actually pull for. But, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you can't go on the selection show and say style points matter, and the committee chair says we look at the entire game and how it's won. I mean, what do you want to do? What do you want us to just take our foot off the gas and then we have a 5-point game at the end of it? They scored garbage touchdowns, and then the committee's like, oh, they didn't win by enough.
Yeah, the measure of a good team, Landon's class. It's class. It's why Urban Meyer has gotten to play in the playoff a lot. He is the
right. Yeah, class. I mean, we should if Alabama was undefeated, we should, or in the college football playoff talk, we shouldn't put them in because Tremaine Burton hit a co-ed.
Well, that was the co-ed's fault for coming onto the field of play.
Yeah. I mean, good Lord, stop playing both sides. I mean, you would do the same thing if you're in Tennessee's position.
Everyone's saying they
again, it was a backup quarterback.
Yeah, and you would be laughing at Tennessee if Missouri had intercepted that pass too, and that's okay. You should if that happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Speaking of laughing at people, I really wanted that Oregon guy to get flagged for taunting, and that cost him the game. That would have been all. How do you not? He didn't get up and walk away and talk trash. He stood over the guy and flexed.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's on the opposing team's sideline.
Is there zero talk about C.J. Stroud throwing his 5th touchdown pass of the game up like 35 points with 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter?
And no one said this. Have you seen the story of that touchdown? It is pretty cool. So the guy that caught it, I believe this is his last touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm shocked no one's mentioned that. But my rebuttal to that is, why didn't he catch the earlier touchdown? Why
Right.
did they have to put him in for that one? And why did C.J. Stroud have to throw it? So I'm shocked that hadn't been mentioned. But
Hey, we let a
honest
senior
explanation.
catch on senior day. Ramel Keaton caught the last touchdown.
There you go.
Now, Dylan Sampson did run in. He is a freshman, so let's document that as well. And then Princeton Fant had 2 touchdowns, and he's also a senior.
Senior day. That's it. Josh Heupel just loves the seniors.
Right.
That's the story.
Yeah,
That's the story. And we're
that should be
sticking
the
to
story.
it.
Yep. And none of it had to do with. I think Heupel. I think he does have a little hatred toward Missouri a little bit.
He must. And whatever. That's fine with me. I mean, that works in Tennessee's favor. You should
Also,
any
I mean,
division rival
is
opponent.
Missouri not sick with Tony Vitello and Josh Heupel at Tennessee right now, just lighting it up? Man.
Yeah, you can't be too terribly pleased seeing that happen. 2 guys that wore your colors at some point are now beating the crap out of you.
Is there any regret from maybe the athletic department by making him sign a extension right before this game?
Maybe, but he has a lot of class, Landon, and that's all that matters in Missouri. Points, in the grand scheme of things, Landon, points don't matter.
Points don't matter. Kurt
Unless
Herbstreit also said that. Style points matter.
Fourth quarter points.
But it doesn't matter if you win by 10 or 46. It's still a loss.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Hey, why does everyone on the college football playoff committee wear a white hat? Or at least they made that video of them hanging up their hats. What does that mean? What is the significance behind that? Can someone help me out?
I don't know. Are they like chefs, like stirring the pot? Is that what it is?
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't understand it. They obviously had a brand on it, so maybe it was just for advertisement purposes, or
it just pops on white.
Maybe white is a sign of ego. You're leaving your ego at the door. I don't know. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, is your piss hot kind of deal? Leave your ego at the door. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. I guess like white is a neutral color, so that.
Oh, I like that.
Because if they wore black, they were supporting Tennessee because we had black uniforms.
We did wear black uniforms. We're the only team. I don't think Ohio State's worn their black yet this season, have they? So we're the only team in contention that's worn black. TCU does. It's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know.
The TCU one's interesting, and it worked out where Michigan, Ohio State could obviously still present some trouble for Tennessee, but it really stinks that TCU has not been overly impressive. But I've always said it. I think if they're undefeated conference champion, they have to get in.
Yeah,
so it just stinks. I know. I don't know if we want to talk.
Well, first we can start off by saying Texas, you suck.
Yeah, horns down.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers, what was that performance?
I saw someone mention that, he broke his clavicle, so give him a break. Why is he playing then? If his injury's still hurting him, why is he playing?
Yeah, Hudson Card did just fine without Quinn Ewers. So, interesting. I don't know. You want to do guys who impress real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Get deep in college football.
I'm going to start and probably steal yours. So that's why I'm going to go first. And that's Dylan Sampson. I mean, come on. 98 yards. I had a pull. 98. Is that right?
Yep.
98 yards on 8 carries. Yeah. Raven Elephant. Gets a tutty too.
It's pretty good average.
Yeah, I want to see more of him. Also, by the way, speaking of average, I do need to mention that. We do got to mention one of South Knoxville's finest. Unfortunately, playing for the wrong team, but still have that. Elijah Younger met, great athlete. I've always joked every time I watch him carry the ball this year, he's gotten 6 or 7 yards. It blows my mind they don't run him more. I think he's averaging like 4.5 on the year or something like that. He did average 7 yards yesterday. Carry.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like, he'll make a good play and then they'll take him out. Like, it's baffling to me. Maybe that should be on Drinkwitz's sheet also.
To be fair to Elijah, and I guess I don't understand how they sub anybody. Like, their rhythm makes no sense to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, he's just so dynamic. And no offense to Schrader or, whoever that other guy is, but, like, they're not dynamic. You know, they're going to run the football between the tackles. They're not, you know, getting the ball on the outside. You know, they won't get a pitch or catch a pass out of the backfield. And I know they tried to throw a wheel route to Schrader, Brady Cook, I think, you know, tried to hit somebody in the stands because it was horribly thrown. But, yeah, I just don't understand that, you know, ride the hot hand.
Right.
If Dylan Sampson goes in and has, you know, -3 yards on 3 carries, yeah, you probably don't go to him. But,
Right.
I mean, when he's lighting it up like that, when he's averaging, what he averaged, like 11? Over 11?
Yeah,
12?
yeah. Over 11 yards.
Yeah.
That'd be roughly 12.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard not to just keep him in the game. I don't care. Like, you don't have to block anybody. Just give him the football.
Yeah.
Who cares what he looks like in pass protection if he can run like that?
Well, to be fair, our other backs didn't look great in pass protection last week either. I won't go into that either. So.
Yeah. We'd like to see more. Yes, that's what you're getting at. I'm going to go with Tyler Barron. I think this was his best game in a Tennessee uniform. He looked like a guy that could be a draft pick. You know, we thought going into this season, hey, maybe this could be Tyler Barron's last season because he does have that prototypical size. He's got.
Tell me Will Levis is a draft.
Oh,
First-round draft pick.
Oh, hell no. But I mean, he did look like a draft pick today. He was fantastic. 4 tackles for loss, a sack. I mean, he gave Missouri's offensive line fits. Hasn't been the most consistent guy since he's been here, but man, he lit it up today. And you know, I'd like to see more of that going forward.
Yeah, Tyler Barron. It's good. You just haven't seen a ton of him throughout the season. He had his moments. Yesterday, you saw a ton of him.
Yep.
So that was nice to see. I'm gonna be honest. It's really hard to find one defensively that just stood out other than Tyler Barron.
I'll say Brandon Turner's. I know he did drop some picks, but he's also making plays on the football, which no one else in that defensive backfield has to this point. So I'm loving that he's at least mine. That play that he made where he comes off his guy and you know, jumps the wheel route, you know, makes a diving play, couldn't come down with it, but you know, that's a play I don't think anybody else in the secondary probably makes it up to this point. So
yeah, well, and I will say that for the whole secondary. There were a couple of times that Brandon Turner, I think, did it twice, broke on the ball really nicely.
Yep.
Weren't quite there. Couldn't finish the catch or couldn't quite get there.
That's why he plays defense, Caleb.
Yeah, exactly. I will say Brew McCoy, a guy that didn't score a touchdown, but had a lot of catches and had a lot of big-time catches. Second and long, things like that, getting you first down, moving the chains. He almost – is he Hendon Hooker's safety route? Can't find anybody. I'm finding Brew.
I'm thinking he's what like makes teams forget about Jalen Hyatt for a split second. They're like, all right, we got to stop this huge guy that's, you know, able to push our DB in the chest for 25 yards and him not move a single inch. You know, he's a different guy. You know, that play that where he hits Hendon Hooker or Hendon Hooker hits Jalen Hyatt up the sideline. I mean, just one hand. It didn't budge.
He also had a mean stiff arm. I can't remember what point in the game, but he had one where he very John Kelly Jr. like.
He's always falling forward. So he's getting at least, you know, 5 yards every time he's catching the football.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like Brew, and I think he's had a phenomenal year. I think there were some games in there where didn't have a ton of targets. Alabama was one of them, but he did have a huge catch in that game too. So yeah, he's had a great year, and you know, I look for him to be back next season too, because I think he's whatever happens. You know, Cedric Tillman's probably gone, definitely gone. Jalen Hyatt's more than likely probably gone. So, you know, Brew McCoy can be wide receiver 1 in this offense next year probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else other than Hendon Hooker?
Yep. Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyatt, we can mention them every year. Jalen Hyatt does go over 1,000 yards. I think he's the 10th player to do that. Or maybe the 9th player, but the 10th time it's been done. I think maybe two people have done it. And then he's up to 3rd, I think, in all time in a season. Robert Meacham and I think Marcus Nash is ahead of him. Robert Meacham holds the record with 1,298 yards. And I think
Meacham. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Jalen Hyatt has 2 more games.
With the defenses that are left, my friend, that may be that record may be coming to an end.
Yep. Yeah, you can mention those two. I'm going to mention another guy because I think he does have that home run ability and can flip the field at any point. That's D. Williams.
Yeah.
I know it was called back, but that first punt return, I mean, he puts the fear of God in a punt unit for opposing teams.
Yeah. I'd love to. We talked about it. I'd love to see him on kick return. You said it. We don't get to return many, but so that one, I'd like to see him get a chance.
Yeah.
To pull out.
I mean that punter was praying on the sidelines after a penalty flag was thrown for a phantom block in the back.
I need to go back and watch it because sometimes it just looks different on camera than the stands. It just looked egregiously bad, and it came from the guy on the far sideline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I just want to know, the guy that throws that flag, what does he think the back judge is looking at? When he goes, oh, he didn't throw it. I wonder why.
Yeah.
You should know his responsibilities.
And that'd make too much sense, Caleb.
Yeah. I wonder what they talk about in their meetings, because there's no way he's like, so because if I have to throw that from the opposite, I'm over and ask my buddy, how is that? If I think it's that I need to throw it.
There was one time, I can't remember what it was, but Josh Heupel was fuming mad
I saw that
over something.
I think it was based on what Willie Martinez was doing, and I probably would have thrown the flag too because I thought it could have gone either way. I think it's Trayvon Flowers comes down on a slant, and he hits the guy before he hits the ball. But he's playing the ball. He's not playing the guy. But he does get there a hair early. It's probably PI, but I think it could have gone either way. I think that's the one because it was on this. It was, the play I'm talking about, probably 15, 20-yard line, south end zone.
Oh, I know what it was. No, it wasn't that. It was in the end zone. I forget what the receiver was. It might have been Ramel Keaton, but he hits him in the end zone. Was it Brew McCoy?
We tackled him before the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that I think that's what it was. I mean, and just no call. Not even a flinch from the official.
Bad. Yeah. That one was bad. And I saw someone say it was uncatchable. It would have hit him in his chest. Sorry.
Yeah.
It did hit him in his chest, but his arms were tied up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's insane.
Unbelievable.
Insane. Before we get into more college football talk, I do want to mention Ham and Goodies for taking care of us this football season. We appreciate them so much. Make sure you go check them out at all their locations. They're great. We love them. Landon's a strawberry guy.
Love strawberry.
I'm a lemon myself. Get both. Get both. Why not? Get both.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go check them out. Also, do we want to mention the story of us walking past Gate 21?
We can tell it. I do want to mention right here my new hat from University of Traditions. On the cream right now. Love University of Traditions. Love these hats. They're great. Christmas is coming up. Make sure you go get one. Emily was talking about it. She's like, you have so many hats. You wear so many different hats. Literally, not figuratively. And you get way more compliments on your University of Traditions hats than you do any other hat. So make sure you go get one. Everyone loves them. Promise, because I wear a hat literally every day. And this is the only one I get asked where I got it from. So make sure you go get those. Everyone in your family will love them. Do it.
Yeah, we got asked yesterday.
Yeah. I think I got asked twice yesterday. Once at the tailgate and once in the stands.
Nice. Love it. Yeah. So do you want to tell the story?
I was yeah, I don't care. We're walking towards Gate 21. I'm sure you guys saw those videos. There's been a lot going around of those street. I don't even want to call them preachers. They're not preaching. They're just street haters. Most people. I think most people. I don't usually interact with just looking for trouble. I mean, that's all they're doing is they're looking for trouble.
Oh, yeah.
I did see a girl walking away, flipping them off. I just assumed she was flipping off Missouri fans, and I was like, "What are we doing, flipping off Missouri fans? Come on!" And we get over. We walk about 10 more feet, and these people are just yelling at us. And I mean, the guy was probably like 60 years old.
Yeah, he was an older fella. Yeah.
Minding his own business, and one of the guys turns around and just yells at him, "You're a homo pervert." And we lost it. I mean, we started talking, laughing.
I mean, it was just so sudden. Like I was not prepared for that at all.
It wasn't even the guy yelling at people. Different guy. He didn't have the microphone.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were supposed to talk. I thought they were supposed to hold signs. I thought they were like the signal callers. They aren't calling the plays. They're just signaling in type deal.
Yeah, I've just never heard that insult before. So, like, I mean, I was just so caught off guard. And he yells it again. Because, like, when I first heard it, I was like, what did he just say? And he said it again. And I was like, okay, I did hear it correctly. And I couldn't believe it. So, yeah.
I hope those people go to a hell where they just have to hear people screaming absurd things over and over again. I hope that's the hell they have to live in.
I mean, props to that guy because I've never been called that before. So that was a first. So you did get my attention because you yelled that.
It's true. It's true. It's a good point, Landon. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I also want to mention, I don't know if it was the Halloween game or if it was yesterday, but did you see a video of those guys in the stands dressed as Tennessee's play callers?
Mm-mm.
One guy was in all red, one guy in all blue, and one guy in all green.
Oh, that's cool.
In the student section. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was funny. Also, Emily's mom leaned over and she's like, "What are those Teletubbies doing on the sideline?" They're the Teletubbies colors.
Yeah. I used to know all the Teletubbies. There's Lala, Poe.
Of course you did.
Lala's yellow, Poe is red. I can't remember the other ones.
Of course,
but yeah,
you remember.
Teletubbies. I like that. That's a good description of them. Let's get into basketball. Joe, I want to ask you, were you at the game on Saturday? Did you make it? Did you make it?
No.
I was gonna say, smile. That would take a mischievous smile.
And I gotta like kind of
Stop
dog on
going
myself.
to Uptown.
I gotta stop. I gotta dog on myself because I'm like, you know me, I'm obviously like the super fan, and I'm always the one that gets pissed off when my friends want to leave it, for the second half or whatever, and blowout games. It was just one of those mornings where you wake up maybe 45 minutes before kickoff and you look outside and it's just spitting gross rain, freezing cold, just not the energy. Yeah, it was a rough morning. And I wasn't even like, it was a bad morning in general. I just had a splitting headache, and the plans that people weren't even answering the people that I was supposed to be meeting. So I got to take that for myself, because I did make I vouched to wake up and make it to senior day and show some appreciation for the guys that have stuck out with us for the past 4 or 5 awful years of, being involved with them. So I do apologize, but I did cheer them on once. I went down to a field house social and got some drinks and stuff with some people, and so I was there in spirit. I wasn't sleeping.
So how many of these people leave in like the second half?
Good. I mean, I feel like you can kind of tell like where the student section is, how it kind of starts to clear out after halftime. I just think a lot of
would this be beneficial? I'm just thinking about this. I'm just spitballing. What if we came up with a contract that said they have to stay for the entire game, start to finish, and if they don't, we have some sort of punishment?
They can't go to the bars that night. You have to get your tickets. You have to get a physical ticket stamped on your way out at the end of the game to get into Uptown or whatever it's called now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what we do.
Yeah, I'm cool with
Force
that.
No,
I mean,
you can't even go out. You have to go back. Like you just have to go back. And you cannot leave the
Yeah, Chinese government
apartment.
just straight up like Big
Yeah,
Brother.
you got a curfew.
yeah, I'm pretty sure KPD has a tank. They can help monitor that with.
I'm cool with that because once I do go to I did flake, but when I'm at a game and I have people napping in my ear, my biggest thing, and I saw at Florida and Bama is the most of the time women, not singling them out, just what from my experience, that are sitting on their phones halfway through the first quarter sitting down. And I'm like, do you understand how serious this game is? Like, what like this isn't for like I know you got your Instagram pictures, and so in your mind, like, your objective over, you won Saturday, like you're good. But we have a game, so I literally will yell at them until they leave the stadium because I'm like, if you're not gonna have the energy, then just get out. I am a reason some people leave like a little early, but it's pet peeve of mine. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, no more of that. Well, let's make them sign contracts.
Yeah.
Or maybe we just lock them in Neyland.
Yeah, I like that. Shut the.
Yeah, you can't get out until it's over.
Alabama's band is gonna have a fit about that one, but yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm with that one. Emily knows not even to ask me now.
Well, I mean,
She
we
knows.
got to watch when Jermaine Burton is out on the field. We all need to be careful, but
Yeah, you can't lock him in the stadium.
yeah, just keep your head on a swivel. when
Well, he's
on the
supposed to
field.
be there, so he'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good.
Let's talk about basketball just for a little bit.
I'm good. You can talk about it. I'm good. It was just an abysmal performance. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It was just bad.
Yeah, bad game. There's just no flow to the offense. No one's shooting well. No one wants to drive in. There's no, post presence. It's just a bunch of guys just running around until there's an open three, and it's just jacked up, and there's not good enough. Like Vescovi is our best shooter. He's shooting terribly. Zakai's shooting terribly. They're out of control. They're just turning the ball over too much. Olivier just gave us absolutely nothing today. I mean, watching him is so frustrating. He can't catch. He doesn't rebound very well. Every time he gets it, he's shooting. And he was like 1 for 9. I mean, take the hint a little bit. Like if something isn't going in, let's not keep doing it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean that's the most frustrating thing about today is it felt like nothing changed.
Yeah, and if you don't have a post presence, just play 5 guards. I mean, there's you don't have to play a post just because he's a post.
Especially the way you were giving up the lane today. I mean,
yeah,
what's
right?
the point?
Yeah,
what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, Urosh getting hurt, I know that sucked because, in that I know it was Tennessee Tech, but he was playing well. So he did play well against Gonzaga as well. So I do want to hope it isn't serious. Hope this team kind of figures it out. But right now, I mean, that's 2 games in a row where you haven't looked great, and you look great against Gonzaga. So I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give credit in the Tech game. You flipped it in the second half. You shot well, but
yeah,
it's frustrating.
Yeah, just bad. I mean, Colorado lost to Grambling like two days ago. And here I said the other day, I was like, Colorado has to play 2 days before. And they got beat and then beat us. And
that's how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, it's college basketball. Anything can happen. But, this happened last year. Tennessee just got in shooting ruts and there was no answer for it.
Yeah. Very frustrating day. Very frustrating.
Yep.
I didn't have fun watching that game. I'll say it.
No, we'll see what happens. I mean, even if Tennessee would have won that game, it still was a terribly played game. I mean, it was slow and, just sloppy and gross.
Yep.
It was like the weather was yesterday morning. It looked like the field that Circle Park is in. I mean, just a mud hole. Just absolute crap.
Yeah. Hey, so I was just scrolling on Twitter and I saw our tweet of the Jalen play. Let me ask you this. Did you know where Jalen played?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just curious why Missouri didn't think so. And well, I'm curious for 2 reasons. Because I saw some moron tweet out Tennessee's running trick plays. They're playing what high school does, hiding the small guy. Jalen Hyatt is 6'1", 180. He's not 5'8".
Right.
He didn't move. There was no motion to free him up. Yeah, they put him in a bunch formation. We do that often. I don't know. It's just it astounds me how stupid some people can not only be but continue to get.
Yeah. That's why we have, we're not doing it this show, but we do have stupidity as an epidemic.
Yeah. And I'll say this.
very
I do
much
think they tried to quote unquote hide him. But it wasn't like
malicious. Like it wasn't like we
tucked him behind. He wasn't kneeled down behind a guard.
yeah. Or yeah.
But I mean, aren't you always trying to get guys open and then
Or he wasn't
in places?
What's the one where they had a guy lay in the end zone? Kickoff.
It
wasn't like that.
Yep. Hey, when do you think we see the orange helmets? I think we see them this year. Is it next week or is it Vandy?
I guess it would be Vandy.
I hope it's next week.
Yeah, you're going to
South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah, it is a night game. Have you checked the weather?
I haven't. I'm expecting it to be cold. I got my new toboggan coming soon, so.
Oh, the Hendon Hooker one.
My Hendon toboggan, yeah. My Hooker toboggan is what I'll call it.
Nice.
People.
I like that.
Yeah.
And be careful what they'll call you in front of Gate 21, though.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, that was the last game, so I guess you won't see them till next year. But maybe they'll come up with new material.
They've been hanging around campus. Today I saw some TikToks of them screaming at people on campus. So
why are they just allowed to you can't I feel like you just can't go around calling people names. Right?
I can, man. I don't know. Free speech, right?
I just feel like a cop would eventually be like, all right, guys, nope, you're not doing that. Go on somewhere.
I don't know the rules about that. I'm not sure.
I just feel like
they do it all the time. So I guess
verbally assault somebody.
Yeah.
Poor old man at that. He's like, what? Oh God, I'm not glad that happened, but it was a great moment. I'll never forget it.
I'll say it. I'm glad it happened.
All right. Well, let's do most important. You want to do that?
Do you want to talk about? I know we kind of talked about college football. Do you want to talk about any games or anything before then?
I mean, we can kind of talk about the college football playoff a little bit if you want. I mean, we go to South Carolina this week. They got blown out by Florida. Wasn't even close. It is at 7:00, so I'm excited about this game. And I know we'll talk about it on Thursday or whenever we decide to do a show. I know we got some stuff this week, but other than that, I mean, Oregon losing, that was a good game.
Yeah, no, it was a very good game. I mean, it was terrible at the end as far as football goes, but good fun. It was way more fun to watch than Texas and TCU.
Yeah, that looked like Tennessee and Colorado today.
Yeah, it was bad. TCU didn't look great. Texas looked terrible. I mean, I think if you're undefeated, I don't think a win should hurt you. But I also think I want to too. I think obviously they won't jump Tennessee, but it needs to be remembered what their wins looked like versus Tennessee's wins when it comes down to it, because Arkansas is every bit as bad as Missouri, and LSU squeaks one out. And I know it's away but I just want to note that for everyone who thinks LSU is just going to outright jump Tennessee with an SEC championship. There should still be a conversation if they somehow win. And I don't think they will.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think what it's going to come down to is I think there's going to be depending on how that Ohio State-Michigan game goes, I think that one's going to be an interesting one because I do think, even though I don't really consider Michigan a blue blood at all, I do think they do hold some weight because they were in the college football playoff last year, which I know that shouldn't mean anything. But if that's a close game, I feel like there's going to be a conversation about that too. And it's going to – I'll riot if Michigan is put in over Tennessee.
Yeah. They have one win, right? Penn State.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely shouldn't be the case. The Alabama Ole Miss game, too. Kiffin, what are you doing on that last drive? 14 with a minute left and 2 timeouts, and you never try to run the ball, what you've been successful at?
Yeah, your best player is a running back.
Judkins had 135 yards on the ground. And you don't run the ball all the time.
Yeah,
Yikes.
Not great.
Yikes.
Not great. It would have been funny to see Ole Miss storm on Alabama.
I really wanted it to happen. That would have been
hilarious.
That North Carolina Wake Forest game wasn't ending.
Yep, that was a good game.
Ending.
Won that bet, so that was good.
Drake May is every bit of playing himself into the Heisman conversation. And he should be there.
Yeah. It is in the ACC. That's why I don't think he wins it.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with that. Should be. He should be there.
And what about UConn getting bowl eligible to win over Liberty? A Liberty team who's beat Arkansas this year. I think they have don't they have another big win? Or is that it? I thought they beat someone else at home.
Yeah, someone that they should. They beat BYU.
They did lose. They beat BYU 41-14 at home and stormed.
Hell yeah. UCF beat Tulane. That was UCF was beating them pretty bad, and then Tulane came back. I'm looking at all the games right now. Oklahoma lost again. Vanderbilt beat Kentucky. Notre Dame. I hope this carries some weight too. Notre Dame beat Navy by 3.
Yeah. Notre Dame's not good. I mean, we knew that, but I just didn't state it.
And if Michigan beats Ohio State, I mean, are you really banking on that being your best win as a win over Notre Dame, who lost to Marshall at home and then beat Navy by 3? Navy's 3-7.
Yeah. And Ohio State fans want to act like it was a super comfortable win by 10.
Yeah.
Come on. I also want to mention I didn't see any classless tweets going around about Rutgers at the end of the Michigan State game. Did you see this? Diving, I mean, not trying to make a play on the ball on the kneel down. Going after, I mean, trying to go low on offensive linemen during kneel downs. Greg Schiano back at it again. And a lot of people want to point to the Buffalo Vikings game today. The Vikings weren't just going at, they weren't getting a free play, free shot off on Buffalo's offensive line. That wasn't what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But go back and watch Rutgers Michigan State ending. It's egregious. It's bad. And not a word said about it. And it's not great. His first offense. I'm sure Dan Wolken won't mention that one.
What about Georgia running up the score on Mississippi State and scoring? They're up 38-19, and they score with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter to go up 45-19.
Well, Mississippi State is an SEC school. People forget Missouri's not really an SEC school. That really sucks.
That's a good debate. Let's debate that. Who should be in the SEC, Missouri or Mississippi State?
Well, what really sucks is Missouri's played in more conference championships than Tennessee in the last 10 years. That's what really sucks.
And more than Mississippi State, too.
And more than, yeah. All right. Miami gets this one. Missouri gets this one. Miami sucks. A&M, when are you going to fire Jimbo? Holy crap. When are you going to let this continue? Like, how long do you let this continue? They lost 10-13. They scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. So Shane Beamer would be a great coach for you.
They're going 4-8.
Yeah.
And I think Desmond Howard had them in the college football playoff.
And Pitt. Don't forget, and Pitt.
4-8. They're gonna beat UMass next week, and then they're gonna lose to LSU. So 8-4. What a season!
Listen, UMass is a terrible football team, but I will hold my breath on that win because A&M has found new lows every single week.
Auburn threw for 60 yards and beat them.
Yeah, tough. Did you see Cole Kubulek interviewing Cadillac Williams on their way out of the tunnel? It was pretty cool.
They got to hire Cadillac. Like, there's no question.
Do you think they do?
I just think, like, I don't know how this team is, like, got up for every game, but they have. They've competed.
They've only played 2 games, to be fair.
I mean, it's ugly, but, like, they figured it out. Did they win last week? No, they lost in overtime to Mississippi State. That's right.
I don't know. It's definitely an interesting one with him being a former player, but I got to think there are better options. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, he's going to recruit well because he's been, him and Rodney Garner were kind of their ace recruiters. And Auburn's kind of one of those schools that recruits itself also.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I think he'd be good in that regard. I just kind of think it's like a Marcus Williams thing at Notre Dame. Do I think it works out? I don't know, but it does seem like a guy that's put his heart and soul in Auburn football, and it'd be hard for me to just be like, no, let's, because I mean, how do you come back?
Yeah, I don't think they would reach. I'll say I don't know how great they would be. I don't think they would reach the lows that Brian Harsin did.
No, I don't think they'll go 4-8 like Jimbo Fisher.
I don't. Blows my mind.
Let's get into some.
Also, I know that it's their recruiting class that they just got is our freshmen, but my God, 4-8. My God.
Yeah.
My God. All right. Yeah. Most important. I'm ready to move on.
Joe, you want to get in here as well?
Did you see the video? I'll go first. Did I delete it?
Okay.
No. Mount Union caught a deflected pass. I think it's D3 football. Did you see that Hail Mary deflected pass they caught to win the game?
I don't think so.
Off the helmet. Through the guy's hands, off the helmet.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah. It was awesome. But, man, what a way to lose. If you haven't, go look it up. At D3 football tweeted it. And then there's there's an end zone angle, too, that's really, really good. But, man, what a great way to end terrible win and lose a game.
Yeah. What about Ryan Terrell? Is looking to become the first Orthodox Jew to play in the NBA, and made his G League debut the other night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's a baller.
Whew. Sorry.
Anybody else got a most important?
I don't think so.
No. Let's go ahead.
I thought I did.
We can go to Phil.
Yeah, let's go to I do.
Yeah, I'll go first on this one. The Bucks, they did win today, but they also tried to throw a pass to Tom Brady when he was out wide.
On purpose?
Yeah, like they ran the play and like threw it up to him. And they obviously picked it off. I mean, having a 45-year-old play receiver, I mean, what are you doing? You should have lost that game on that play call alone.
Hey, they're just trying to – that was the game in Germany, right?
Yeah, they were trying to get the
Munich
crowd up.
Exactly.
They sang country roads, which is just such a strange – I didn't realize that was a global phenomenon. Cool.
Europeans, I think Europeans love country music.
I think they do. I think it is I have actually seen that quite a bit.
I know Irish people love country music.
That makes sense.
I think it's a European.
Are you Irish?
I'm not.
Oh. Do you love country music?
I do love country music. I like country music.
Kind of Irish.
Love might be strong. I like country music though.
So you are Irish.
And you like
They
soccer.
love it. Football.
Oh, World Cup's coming up. That's exciting.
It is. I know USA is going to suck, so that's brutal.
I have
It's not
no
gonna be
clue.
as
I
much
just
fun.
I get excited for that one short period that is ever World Cup. I have no clue anybody on the team and how good we're going to be.
That's what sucks is you make people like you who normally you would watch it because it's in the summer and nothing else is really on other than baseball if you count that. But with it being in football season, I don't even know how much of it I'll watch. I won't watch every game like I normally do.
Yeah, I think USA plays the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
right?
2 p.m. on the 25th. Yep, that's their opening game.
And I'm assuming that Saturday obviously is going to be full of
Yes.
a bunch of games. So I think you're right. There's going to be way too many influences. That weekend's going to have a lot of implications, college and NFL, I guess. So
Yeah, not a good time. And it's in Qatar. It's so dumb. Everything about it's just so dumb.
haven't 90 people died working on the stadium?
Oh, I think it's in the hundreds.
What?
It's
Yeah,
hundreds of people.
they have awful conditions over there. It's awful. I don't know why.
Lord.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
it would be
glad.
good.
I'm so glad that you guys don't really know about it because it just proves everyone's point that the media is not talking enough about it. And they said they did. No, they didn't. And then, because when this got announced, this was the most corrupt World Cup of all time that Qatar got the bid. The most corrupt. Obviously, dudes got paid millions of dollars. And then the media acted like they called it out. No, they didn't. Everyone would know about it. It's insane. All right. That's a good measuring stick.
God bless.
I have no idea about it.
Like that, I mean, yeah, that's insane. 100 people have died working on it.
Yeah. Oh, I do have a most important, but also maybe a fail. If I send it to you, Joe, can you upload this video?
Yeah,
It's
I can
13
try.
seconds long.
I'll go fail real quick. While y'all are trying to get that, SEC officiating continues to be on this show about every single week. But my God, how in the world is an Alabama player able to just use a player to get up? Number one, we've been penalized for that against Alabama. And then they're able to just go back down and shove the quarterback's head into the dirt. And nothing is called.
That's tried to rip a dude's head off. Literally. It was him who grabbed the face mask. Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, really? Good Lord. Yeah. Did they call that?
I think it may have been called, but it was egregiously bad. I grabbed him and yanked him around by the face mask.
But as an official, you are watching this play unfold. You're watching the guy with the ball get tackled, and then you don't see him just shove his head into the dirt. I mean, it's unreal. Unreal.
I guess they're probably just a little confused. They've never actually had to not try to fix. They've never not been going for Alabama.
Yeah. They've never been put in this situation before where,
they don't
they
really know how to
could
act.
lose. Yeah.
They're like, wait, I'm not supposed to call. Okay, we're good. I'm catching up, but they're just the new refs, especially.
Also, Joe, so next Friday, what would you consider that to be?
Next Friday?
Like what date?
If he told you, hey, we're doing this next Friday, or what are you doing next Friday? What day would you look at?
25th.
Thank you.
Not that that was Friday. Next Friday.
Yeah, I had a guy we had a guy comment on our post today and was just the 25th is not next Friday.
Well, he's an idiot.
It
is next Friday because if you're going to say Friday, some people are just.
Yeah, it's this Friday is the 18th. Next Friday is the 25th. That's. I don't know. I don't even know why I try. I don't even know why you'd comment that. Who cares?
I got your video.
I guess. Okay. I was like, I think that's a sound. It's a fail turned into most important because it's awesome how the mascot handles it.
That's not a good first 1 second.
I just love that he died. That's my favorite part.
You need context here. I'll pull it up. It's loading.
I don't know.
That was electric.
So he was the ending. I don't know if you saw the beginning. The beginning, he's riding a bike on like the ledge and falls off into the shrub. Everyone's like, "Oh no!"
I always had an idea in the first place. Like, let's get a mascot in a suit on a bike and let's have him ride on.
Yeah,
This
definitely.
one.
Is that at Georgia?
Oh,
Why is there shrubs?
I guess Auburn has shrubs. Tennessee used to have shrubs, man. Used to be a thing.
I'm glad we got rid of that. Yeah, I have so many questions about that, but
Yeah,
I mean,
like, lots to unpack.
props to him. That's how you sell it after.
Yeah, you gotta keep the
Oh,
crowd
yeah.
going.
He's stuck
Yeah.
landing.
Yeah, you got to own it.
I do have another fail. It's Spencer Petros. He now has the third fewest yards rushing in Iowa history at negative 273.
Damn. Oh my God.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like reverse Justin Fields. I've never seen that before. That's
I bet he had a better day than Will Levis did on Saturday.
that's awesome. You almost at that point you just have to keep like going backwards just to like try to make it even worse. Like even if you chunk away for the rest of the season, you try to make up numbers.
How do you not try to just like try another quarterback at that point? Oh wait,
Good
I've
question.
been there before, and I still wonder why JG
Say-
is still in the
Yes, I knew we were going to say the name. We almost made the whole show.
Streak.
We were so close.
game.
We need a counter.
Yeah, we do need a counter. That'd be cool.
Stuff in the corner. I got one. It's so I guess Elon Musk making the whole you can basically buy a check mark now, and somebody made a fake Eli Lilly and Company Twitter account, which is the pharmaceutical company that I guess is partly responsible for insulin products. Big pharma, they're probably bad people. And I guess a fake account was created, and they tweeted that they're excited to announce that insulin is now free. And so the Eli Lilly and Company stock tanked and was down nearly like 20 billion in market cap. So,
Oh my
gosh.
God.
and it's bouncing back a little bit, but it just like the chart is just like a huge tank, and it's just hilarious. Which like it's kind of like funny because I mean they're probably just running up prices for insulin and pharmacy drugs that people need. It's like you don't feel bad for them, but like it's just funny to see that. So now be careful and make sure. I mean, people are already getting got with Richard West and stuff. So definitely make sure who your reading tweets are from nowadays.
Oh, did
I'll press the check
RGW
mark.
get a? Did he get a? Oh, I
I'm
thought
sure
he got a.
he had to buy one.
I'll pay.
If
I'll
you-
pay for his. I'll pay for his. If I won't do it. I won't pay for my own. I'll pay for his. He deserves it. I'll pay for
He's
it.
worked hard enough.
I had somebody with a check like argue with me. It was somebody who covers Georgia, and I wanted to tweet back and be like, "Oh, glad you paid the $8." I love that. It's like so stupid now. Why would anybody do it anymore?
Yeah, I don't really understand it now at this point.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Well, anything else?
Stay classy, San Diego.
Exactly. Guys, thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday. If not, we'll tweet that out. But have a good rest of your week. We love you. Seniors, thank you. We love you also. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.